Hello and welcome back to Geek and Speak, the Geek and Seek podcast. It is our new year. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. I hope you guys had a great holiday week. We took about a month off of the podcast because we all had, holiday stuff and other stuff going on. So we are back in the new year, kicking things off with this week's episode. We're going to be talking about things we're excited about for 2025 in Magic the Gathering. We're going to be talking about some of our New Year's resolutions, per se, for like us as Magic players. We're going to be talking about some of the sets we're excited about coming up this year. Should be a good chat. Joining with me today is Preston. How's it going, Preston?
Going pretty good. Excited for what this year has to hold. Hopefully, it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for that. And then we also have Jason. How's it going, Jason?
Going okay. Yeah, my New Year's wasn't too exciting, but I'm excited for everything that's going to be happening this year. Obviously excited for the Lions to win the Super Bowl. That's going to be a good time. And by the time this episode comes out, like the regular season will be over. So we either ended as the 1 seed or the 5 seed because of the way that this last game is going to go. But I really think that we're going to win. I think that we'll be the 1 seed. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous.
Get it? He said lion. He said lion. That's so
and
funny.
I guess at this point, if you're watching this, you already know what happened if you even care about sports. So yeah, either yay or
A 5's
it is
still
what
pretty
it
good,
is.
though, right? Like 5's still pretty good. Like if that's how it pans out.
We have to go on the road, but yeah.
And then, hi, I'm your host, Morgan. I'm also doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited for what's coming up this year. And it was a well-deserved month off that we took for making content, but I am also very excited to get back in the swing of things. We have lots of good podcast topics lined up. Jason's going to be kicking butt on getting them edited, and I've got a lot of ideas brewing myself for some other content that we'll be getting out. So if you would like to support the show, you know what you're supposed to do. There's all the YouTube algorithm stuff you're supposed to do. We have like 300 videos on this channel. Go back and check some of them out. We have a lot of episodes of the podcast. We have our Commander gameplay. We have video essays. We have arena videos.
Deck
We got all
techs.
sorts of stuff. Deck text. Thank you, Preston. All sorts of great stuff. It's really helpful for the algorithm if you watch our videos and then go watch more of our videos. And then while you're at those videos, hit like. Be subscribed if you're not already. Leave comments if you got good feedback. And then if you want to go the extra mile, be a super Chad, you can head over to patreon.com/geekandseek YouTube. Support us financially. Put a couple pennies in Jason's pocket and all that good stuff. And if you also want to keep the conversation going, you can find a link to our Discord in the description of this video. All right. Favorite comment of the week. It's actually favorite comment of the month because we took a long time off. But this is from the newest episode of our Commander gameplay series where we played Secret Santa with our commanders. This is from Loafzilla. Megatron Gifter took the assignment and made it top notch. Well done with the Santa emoji. Preston, seriously, man. What made you want to go all out for Steven's gift in that video? I think that's an okay thing to spoil if you could talk about it and then people could be like, that sounds fun. We'll go watch the video. But why don't you talk about that for a minute?
So I had a whole list set out for everyone. I had like 4 or 5 commanders that I thought people would like. And when I got Stave, I was looking at the list of ones. I was like, is he going to like this commander? Is he going to like that one? Then I realized I had Megatron on the list. And Steven, as we all know, is the #1 Transformers fan. So I was like, I
Loves
had to give it-
Transformers.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of those jokes that like I wish everyone understood, but like explaining the joke makes the joke kind of not funny, and like it was like kind of like you had to be there kind of thing. But we
I
thought it
always
was
like to say-
hilarious.
What are you talking
I always
about?
like
What
to
joke?
say. I always like to say that explaining a joke is like dissecting a frog. It's more informative, but it has to die.
Yeah. All right. So before we head into our topics for New Year's resolution, I thought I'd just maybe give you guys a couple minutes to catch the viewers up. What have you been up to in our month off?
I got a Steam Deck for Christmas, so I've been doing some gaming. That's been pretty
Ooh,
fun.
yeah. Any specific games?
Replaying the Kingdom Hearts series. Been
That's
the
what's
main
up. What
thing.
about you, Jason?
So, uh, Christmas and New Year's were cool. Um, Christmas just kind of hung out with family and ate food and watched sports all day. It was great. It was a good time. Had fun. Um, I didn't get anything like too exciting like a Steam Deck for Christmas, but I did get a new hunting knife,
Ooh,
so that's cool.
yeah.
Um, and then New Year's I just it was kind of the same thing as Christmas where I just hung out with family and ate food and watched sports, but we also played some games until like 2:30 a.m. It was a good time. It was fun.
Nice.
Nothing too crazy happened. Um, yeah, just kind of tried to enjoy the time with family as much as I could.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess most notably is my second kid was born, so that's been super exciting and super fun for the holidays for Christmas. You know, you go to the family get-togethers and everyone wants to hold the baby, and we're like, yes, please take him so I can take a nap. So that's great. And then for New Year's, being an old man now with a newborn, I went to bed at like 10 o'clock. I did not stay. I did not stay up to watch the ball drop like an old.
What a
I
loser.
know, I'm so lame. But I did get a bunch of Legos for Christmas. I don't like my desk has gotten a lot more crowded, as you can see. I need to rehome all these Lego sets that I have now. So my desk is full. I need to find a new home for them. So but that's fun. I like Legos. They're one of those things that like I really like Lego, but it's like Magic's such an expensive hobby already. I don't also want to spend money on Lego. So it's like the perfect Christmas gift is yeah. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and hop into our New Year's resolutions for Magic the Gathering. So, this is something we briefly touched on last podcast episode as we were like kind of looking ahead into 2025. But what are some things that going into 2025, our New Year's resolutions as Magic players, what would we like to try? Jason, do you want to start us off with your first one?
So yeah, the main thing that, and I talked about this at the end of the year video that we did, but the main thing that I want to do is build that bobblehead deck finally and pull off the combo and win that way. I've been thinking about commanders that I want to go with for that deck, and the one that I always go back to is Brutaclad, because it's a good. I mean, it's good for making copies of the Luck bobblehead, and that way I can try and win that way. Uh, and then it's also in blue, and I feel like blue is the best color for artifacts. So I'm excited to give it a try, but I'm just trying to look for a different commander, something that might be a little bit more fun. Nothing really has caught my attention or grabbed my eye, so
I've seen
just
many different
What?
builds of the bobblehead deck. So I think Brutaclad is a pretty good option, but I think there's a lot of options. So, feel free to keep looking around, though, if that's the best option that you think, that's great. Blue is debatably one of the best artifact colors. And even if it's not, which I think there's a good argument that it is, blue also is really good at protecting itself because it's got all of the counter magic and stuff. So even if people are like, hey, he might be able to lock us out with these bobbleheads, you just can hold up the protection. So I think blue for sure should be in the deck, but whatever your other colors are, I think that's really up to you, whatever you want to do. I've thought a little bit about it because we had briefly floated the idea a long time ago, like when Bobblehead was first previewed, that maybe we do a video where everyone plays a Bobblehead deck and tries to win with it. And I had not decided on a commander, but I knew I wanted to do a Zorius because blue is like probably the best artifact tutor color and has like artifact payoffs. But like white's kind of like second best in those categories. And then white and blue are both good at protection. And then white also gives you like Sun Titans and other recursive effects in case they get removed or milled or whatever. And then you have like Pull from Eternity if it gets exiled and stuff like that. So I would have gone Azorius if I had ever built it, but I never settled on a commander because we decided it was too much work and we didn't want to do that video. What about you, Preston? What's first thing on your list?
So like Jason, there's a deck or two I've been wanting to put together. So those are the things I want to focus on this year at some point when I have the time. My uh what's the enchantment type?
Saga?
Sagas. Yep,
Sagas.
sagas. That's the main one I'm working towards. I really want to get that together at some point this year.
Yeah, and did you decide for sure whether or not you're going to go with wow, I can't think of the guy's name from Lord of the Rings.
Tom
Lord of the Rings.
Bombadil.
Yeah, Tom Bombadil. Are you going to do that, or are you going to do the Abzian one from Commander Masters?
So I keep going back and forth on those, but I did get the Abzan Precon for Christmas, so I'm gonna play that for a bit because I remember enjoying it when we did the episode on it. I played that deck; it was really fun. So I'm gonna get a couple games in it with it as is. Then I might try building that as the commander first, and then from there I'll see if I want to add the other colors with Tom. But
That's a great
Yeah.
way to go about it, I think. Yeah, and along the same lines, as far as like building specific new decks, I briefly talked about last episode that I really would like to get a new aggro deck because everyone hated my Kudo deck that I played on the Modern Horizons 3 episode, which I thought it was a great deck. It was a Selesnya aggro. Kudo turns everything into 2/2s, and then I play a bunch of anthems to make my creatures bigger so they go better in combat, and I play a bunch of 1-3 mana creatures that give immediate value. I thought it was fun. Unfortunately, there were a couple cards that like together caused some problems that it kind of felt stacksy. And it's like if I take those cards out, the deck gets so much worse that it's a lot harder to justify playing it. So I didn't keep it together, even though I really enjoyed it. But I settled on it on what I'm doing. I took apart my my Kudo deck, and I took apart my companion deck, my Umari companion deck, and I used the pieces from those, and then ordered the last few cards I needed. They're coming in the mail over the next couple weeks. For Bruce Tarl partnered with Sadar Kondo, so it's Naya, and it's just like little guys matter. Mostly creatures with 1 and 2 power, so that Sadar can give them evasion, but then Bruce Tarl gives in extra damage with the double strike without actually boosting the power, so they're still evasive. And then it's playing a bunch of just like really cool, cheap creatures that some you see in Commander, but a lot you're like, I haven't seen that in a Commander game. So I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like it's going to be decently strong, but I'm not sure. But I'm really excited because I think aggro decks are nice. We have a lot of games where we say, let's play one more game. And we're like, all right, but everyone play an aggressive deck. And then like it's a grindy mid-range fest anyways, and it takes forever. So I'm excited to just have a deck that just goes fast.
That's fair.
You know the card Arabella from
Yeah, that's going to
Dustmorn?
be in there. That's going to be in there.
I was gonna say
It's so cool.
That'd be heck yeah, dude.
I've seen
card a lot.
I've seen several Arabella decks at this point, and oh my gosh, it is so much better than whatever you think it is. It does so much damage and gains you so much life. It's insane. It's so freaking good. So yeah, I had to put it in the 99 of my deck. It's really sweet. I played against a couple Arabella decks while I was in Vegas. Really powerful, and people really like it. It's nice seeing some aggression get popular in Commander.
Yeah, that's one thing that I thought about this, was that it was going to be an aggressive commander deck. I mean, for 2 mana, you can pretty much get it out whenever you want. So, I don't know that you necessarily pull this out right away or you build up the board, but it's going to be probably pretty easy for you to build up your board in this deck just because everything is, in all likelihood, 3 mana or less. And maybe not everything, but most of it is 3 mana or less. So you're probably able to build pretty quickly, and then when she comes out, if you give her haste or if you wait until she can attack, she's going to start dealing a lot of damage to people on top of the damage that you're already going to be doing from your attacks.
Yeah, and because she's only 2 mana, if she's removed a couple times, you're still like, could
You're
bring her
still
back
in
out
it.
a couple times,
Like you cast her on turn 3, she gets destroyed, you can cast her on turn 4. Theoretically.
Yeah. Assuming you got lands. Yeah.
Assuming you have lands. Well, assuming you have mana. Assuming you have mana.
Jason, what is your second New Year's resolution for Magic?
So this was one that was, I think, is actually a bit more important to me than the other ones. Just because I think that it's gonna make me a better Magic player, and I don't see how it couldn't. But it's just to learn more Magic rules. All the time, I find out stuff about like the way the interactions actually work based on the rules. That I'm like, oh man, I've definitely played that wrong, like before. Um, and not that I want to play perfect. I mean, obviously, I would like to be as close to that as possible. But I just don't want to make blatant mistakes in the game and blatantly break rules, like, even if I don't know that I'm doing it, and even if nobody else at the table knows that I'm doing it. An example that I wanted to talk about is, like, how technically damaged. So, as far as game mechanics is concerned, damage kills creatures. But as far as the rules are concerned, damage does not kill creatures. State-based actions do. So, because like what happens is a creature is dealt damage. Like if it's a 5/5 and it's dealt 5 damage, it has 5 damage marked on it, and then the game checks. It is like a state-based action where how much damage is on this creature. It's enough to kill it. That creature's destroyed. So there's certain things like Douthie Voidwalker. There's certain cards that will destroy Douthie Voidwalker or deal damage to it. And certain cards will be exiled with Douthie Voidwalker and certain cards won't be. So, like, if you, like, Lightning Bolt the Douthie Voidwalker, Lightning Bolt will be exiled with a counter on it. But if it's something that says, like, destroy this creature and it gets destroyed, that card doesn't get exiled with Douthie Voidwalker. It's just really weird how Magic rules work, especially in really niche situations. So I just want to learn more rules and have a better understanding of that so that I can get more out of my cards when I'm playing the game, because I understand how the rules work with the cards that I'm playing. So that one is going to be really big for me, is just to understand the rules of the game more.
Did you get that example from the Attack on Cardboard short?
I think I did, probably.
Dude,
I definitely saw it on YouTube.
Attack on Cardboard is a great YouTube channel. He's a rules guru. I'm actually friends with him on Discord. I should link you guys up, and you guys can chit-chat a bit. He's also on the new Commanders Rules Committee, or whatever the hell they're calling it now. But he
works for Wizards of the Coast?
No. But he's like on the panel of people that they will talk to about any changes they might want to make to Commander on the new version of that. But yeah, I agree that that's like a good thing. Like, I think a good way to just like know rules better and like play better and have better interactions is play more 1v1, because it's more cutthroat. So I found that when I'm in seasons of my life where I'm playing more 60 card, I play better also in Commander. When I go on a long stretch where the only Magic I play is Commander, I get a little sloppy, you know? But I tighten up a bit when I'm in one of my kicks of 60 card. But also, like, specific rules thing, Attack on Cardboard, just binge a bunch of his videos. But then also, like, layers, man. Like, layers, I do not have that memorized. And I haven't been put in a position necessarily where I have to. But, like, God forbid, there's actually probably been times on our gameplay series Upkeep where we should have known about layers, and we probably should have done something differently. But, like, God forbid we actually get to that point, and we're like, what do we do when this happens? None of us have layers memorized. So, that, yeah, I agree. It would be a good thing to just, like, delve more into, like, niche case scenarios just so that you're prepared for them as they come up. Especially with cards like Douthie Voidwalker was the example you used, is, like, a popular card. People know what that card is, and you should know how to play around it.
I like how you say layers, but then don't explain what that is.
I'm not going to.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know what layers is? Okay, so if there's...
I don't think so.
Okay, so layers is, I think there's 7. I think there's 7 layers. And it's basically a checklist of like how you order things. It's like if X number of things are happening at the same time, in what order do you resolve them? But I don't remember what the layers are. And one of the categories has like sub layers to it as well. So
Oh wait, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because like
timestamps is one of them, I think.
it, yeah.
And then there's like one of them is like
'cause
changing
it's like,
colors or something. Yeah, but
I remember seeing something that had to do with like, if one opponent has a static effect on the board and then somebody else plays something that changes the effect of another card, does the static effect apply?
right,
Or
yeah,
does
that would
this
be an
overri-
example of
yeah.
that. Yeah, that would be an example of that.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. See, I definitely didn't have that memorized.
So we should all start playing Charizard in our decks. So we all become better Magic
Charizard?
players. No.
Charizard?
Charizard.
That's Pokemon, dude.
Charizard,
He
yeah,
does-
that's what he said.
He doesn't know the card.
Tell him what it is.
It's the one where you have to play a Magic sub game.
It's banned.
Yeah, but we should all start playing it. Just so we all
I'm
get
also
better at
pretty sure
Magic.
it's like thousands of dollars because it's on the reserve list.
No, it's only $450.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Preston, what's your second New Year's resolution?
I want to just keep playing the colors I don't do as much, specifically black. I feel like I don't do a lot of black. I don't have a lot of black staples in my binder system, which like makes me want to not play it as often. So I just need to start playing that a little more, maybe a little more blue, some red. But yeah, I want to try to do those this year.
Time to build
Uh,
Preston a Grixis deck.
Hold
Let's
on a
do
minute.
it,
I don't know
bud.
about all that.
No,
I
you
don't-
have to do it.
I don't hate myself or other people enough to do that yet.
I don't hate myself or other people, and I have a Grixis deck.
Okay.
I feel like to give yourself some credit though, like I understand like feeling like you're not where you want to be yet, but I feel like you specifically in our group has done a really good job at like coming out of your shell and like playing other things. Because for a long time you were the green stompy guy, and like you would play other colors as long as you were still doing the stompy thing, and you wouldn't necessarily always lean into the strengths of other colors. But like I feel like you've really come out of that in the last like year and a half, 2 years or so. Where
I've been working on it.
yeah, so to give yourself some credit. So my second New Year's resolution is another one that I briefly mentioned last episode, which is I want to play more lands, and that still holds true. However, I have a slight update, is that just play more bounce lands, I think is the answer. Because I talked about earlier, I have some other videos that I'm working on. I'm working on a video essay about how bounce lands are actually OP. And it kind of started off as a joke with my coworkers at MTG Goldfish because they like adore bounce lands and like probably play them too much. And so I kind of was like, oh yeah, and I like jokingly like listed all the good things about bounce lands, and I was like, shoot, this is all correct. So, and then the farther I go into it, the more I realize that this is just accurate. So the reason I bring this up here is because bounce lands guarantee your next land drop. So there is a point at which like you can't run like if you're a 5-color deck, right? You can't run all of the bounce lands, right? You'll just have too many hands where you're just bouncing lands and you're not having a higher number of lands, right? But like if you're like having a hard time, if you're like maybe like a 2 to 3, maybe 4-color deck. Actually, 1-color decks can run the colorless bounce lands. If you just like are having a hard time finding room for a couple more lands in your deck, like if you're like right on the cusp and you're like, I probably need 1 or 2 more lands in my deck, great. Put in a couple bounce lands. I guarantee you it makes all the difference, because besides all the sneaky synergies that I'll talk about in my video essay coming out in a couple weeks, it's just it at the bare minimum, it guarantees your next land drop. So it kind of gets around the I don't want to put more lands in my deck, but it kind of helps you get there anyways. I really actually like the colorless ones. Like if you feel like your deck is like, a little bit higher on the mana curve, or it's not as color intensive on the pips. The two colorless options, the Guildless Commons and the new Desert one, the Arid Archway, I think those are great. And then like if you're 2-3 color deck, play the guild ones that we all know and love. I think it's a great way to up your land count, quote unquote, without actually having to put literally more lands in your deck.
You already know how I feel about playing more lands. I mean, I think 33 lands is fine.
It's so cringe, dude.
Nah, dude, it's all good. You'll have a good time most of the time.
I feel like if we weren't so friendly with our mulligans, you wouldn't say that. Like if we played like the real mulligan. Okay, so for context, I think people know this, but just for context, in our gameplay series, and we do this for most of our casual games too, we pseudo give infinite mulligans. Like we just want people to do their thing and to showcase their deck because that's best for content. So as long as you don't keep a hand with fast mana, we say take as many mulligans as you need until you get a keepable hand. But that is kind of trickled into, we also not always, but we usually do that with our casual games as well when we're not filming a video. If we didn't do that, Jason, I don't think you could get away with 33 lands in your deck.
I think that I would, because even though I have the lands in my starting hand, I very rarely don't draw into lands. And that's usually what happens in the games that I play outside of the channel, is I usually draw into my lands. Sometimes I don't. But I feel like that's anybody who plays Magic. Sure. You know, sometimes no matter how many lands you got, unless it's 99 lands or some variation of a high, like 70-plus land count for some ungodly reason, you know, you just miss your land drops. You just don't get a couple land drops in a row and it sets you behind. I feel like that happens to everybody. But it doesn't happen to me, like, more often than I see it happen to other people. So...
You agree with me, right, Preston?
Yeah, no. With the way I typically build my decks, land drops are one of the strongest things I can hit sometimes. Not only because I have, landfall decks, but I also have a lot of cards where I can pump mana into doing stuff. So I like
mana sinks and such. So just make sure you always have the mana. Yeah. Well, and
I will say,
go ahead.
I do think that, and I saw this. Saw this a couple weeks ago. I do think that they made a point on one of the last Command Zone podcasts where they said that the dual lands, the OG dual lands, are not worth the price, because a dual land, like that dual land, it makes your deck like 1% better. It's like the amount. Just switching out a basic for one of the OG duels, it does not make your deck that much better.
You want a hot take?
I do want a hot take.
Bounce lands are better than OG duels.
I don't know that that's necessarily a hot take, but I think it's just not correct. But I don't think it's a hot take. I just disagree with it.
All right. Jason, what is your last New Year's resolution you wanted to tell the people about?
So the last thing that I wanted to talk about here is I really would like to get our Spell Table series up and running again. I don't know. Did we just do one or did we do two of those?
I think you were in two, but I think we did 4 episodes, but only 4.
Oh, did we?
Like I think when we launched it, we were like, we'll do this every month, and then I think we did it 4 times. So
yeah, it's something that I would like to do more of, and I know that the responsibilities in life are piling up, and Morgan especially has less and less time now. But still, I think that it's something that's feasible. It's something that we could do. It doesn't seem like it'd be too crazy difficult to edit, because it seems like that, bare minimum, it would just be cutting it. So I don't think it would be that difficult. It's just about, getting people who can consistently get on Spell Table and play. whether that's us in the group or if we do it with like people in the Discord or if we just open it up and let strangers do it and just tell them, hey, we're recording this gameplay, just so you know. But I don't know. It's something that I would like to do because I think of all of us, with the exception of maybe you, Morgan. I think I've played on Spell Table the most. Because even before we started doing, even before I was a part of this and before I was involved with the channel at all, I had played on Spell Table. And I really enjoy it. I think that it's a fun way to do it. And so I really would like to try and get that up and running again.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, we also had talked about doing a Magic Online series. And I kind of view Magic Online and Spell Table similarly. Magic Online obviously has a little bit of a learning curve, and it doesn't have all the cards, and it's digital, so it's not paper. So like it's different, but it opens up different possibilities as well. So like there's things in paper you can do that you can't do on Moto, but there's things on Moto that you can't do in paper. So like it would kind of be nice to have both. But I think the concept is the same. Whereas a Spell Table series, the way that we were doing it, like if you go back and watch the 4 videos we did that were on Spell Table, way less editing than our paper series Upkeep, which is like the flagship of our channel. Like that takes quite a bit of work to make. Whereas the Spell Table series, it was like I screen recorded Spell Table, I clicked on the cards that were played so that the viewers could read them, and then if people had face cams, I would like take the Zoom, because I would record a Zoom meeting with everyone in the game so that I would have better audio than what was from the Spell Table game itself. But then if they had face cams, I would put their face cams on the screen as well. But that's it. And then I would just cut out the dead air or like, people like Googling a question or running to the restroom, just cut that stuff out. And that's it. Like it's so much easier than it is with Upkeep, where I have to do effects for all the cards coming up on screen, and I actually have to put in like the PNGs of the cards, and I'm switching between 3, sometimes 4 camera angles. It's a much easier process. So it is kind of unfortunate that we didn't do more of the Spell Table series and that we haven't started the Magic Online series, but like we probably should, like, especially now that we're down to like we're only doing Upkeep like once a month, once every other month. Just because I have a lot harder time finding time to edit it, and it is just so much work to edit. We should have sideshows for gameplay that maybe they're not as fancy to look at, but at least it's like if you just want like a cool game going on in the background, you have an option from us. So I could get behind that.
Yeah, I don't have a Spell Table set up really. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'd love to do some Magic Online. Yeah, it just trying to get the camera set up is what's in a strange way.
A camera stand. I mean, I got a pretty little messed up setup for my.
Oh, dude,
for my camera.
Spell Table setups get so jank. They get so jank. For a while, I actually have a tripod I can use now, but for a while, I just had like a mic stand, and the camera I had that I would use wouldn't attach to the mic stand, so I just taped it. Like,
oh, dude,
like people's setups get so jank.
I literally have a crutch behind my desk with a metal spatula tied to it that I hang my camera from. It's literally a crutch, like the crutches you would get from a hospital. It's that with a metal spatula, and it's tied there, and I clip my camera onto the spatula, and we're good to go.
That's hilarious.
It's fantastic. The camera right now that I'm using, this camera right here, it's sitting on top of a cereal box. So
whatever it takes, man.
It is a Dragon Ball Z cereal box, so there's that.
Does that hold it up better than a normal cereal box?
Well, the box has Vegeta on it, so definitely.
It should have been Goku. He could hold it like the Spirit Bomb.
Well, Goku's on the front, but he's on the front of all the boxes. Vegeta's on the back, and not everybody gets on the back of the box.
Preston, what's your last New Year's resolution?
So In general, I've not been huge on combos throughout most of my Magic playing. So I want to try to find some more that I actually like. Like I like the Cultivator Colossus plus Abundance combo. I find that one really fun because it's not like a true infinite, but with how much it's going to impact the game, it might as well be. So I want to find some more like that if I can. I find those much more fun and interesting.
Just like combos that don't win you the game, or just combos that
I
they'll
just don't
probably
I
win
don't
you the
like
game, but they're
infinite.
more interesting. Oh, okay.
I don't like infinite damage, infinite life, infinite card draw. I just find infinite to be very boring. I like making a number as big as possible without it being infinite.
See, that's why I really enjoyed my Tatiova deck, because the combo that I had in there, I technically could do it over and over and over again, but if I just did it without actually like paying attention to how many cards that I was drawing, I would just lose the game because I'd mill myself out. Didn't run Thassa's Oracle in that deck, didn't run Laboratory Maniac. That wasn't how I was trying to win. So I definitely had to be a lot more mindful. And yeah, I could do the combo as many times as I wanted, but I still had to be smart about how I was doing it and how I was playing certain things to make sure that I didn't accidentally lose the game. Um, so yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from.
Preston, you just described the Nadu decks
Oh
No,
yeah,
because
I guess you did.
no, but
because
those are
they're
still
they're they're
infinite
they're no.
if you
The
get them
Nadu
set up
decks can
right.
whiff. The Nadu decks can whiff.
Uh,
That's why you can't scoop. You can't scoop because the Nadu deck. Well, I should talk about it in the past tense because it's gone from everywhere. But like the problem, the reason you couldn't scoop when they started comboing off is because they could whiff. Isn't that what you're just talking about? You're just combos that aren't. They're not truly infinite. They're just
Okay,
close.
but when I get that Colossus and Abundance combo, I'm not whiffing. Once it gets started, it'll end that game one way or another. I promise you that, because it's in a landfall deck. So the
But at that
50
point, you
lands
could
I
just
just
play it
got out.
infinite.
But it's not as fun. It's different. Like getting out the 4 cards that do the whole when you gain, someone loses. When someone loses, you gain. Like that's boring.
Mm.
That's an actual infinite combo. That's not fun.
See, that's another reason why I liked my Tatiova combo is because it was like a 4 card combo. Like I had to have Tatiova and then two other creatures and an enchantment, and that is like, so it was a little bit janky in that sense. But I mean, if I got it, I got it, and I'm pretty much gonna win that game no matter what. Um, so yeah, I think that infinite combos are kind of boring. I don't play a whole lot of them, but I do think that a fun combo that you can do a lot of times that is going to win you the game, but it's not infinite, I definitely think those are a lot more interesting. Because it's honestly could be compiled of cards that people don't really know about or people just didn't think would combo together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the stigma against combo is poopy. Like, hey guys, the game has to end. I do agree that like a 2 card combo is kind of cutthroat, and kind of lame. But like if it's like a 3 to 5 piece combo, like don't be a dick about it. Like communicate. Like be
Right.
like when it's on the stack, be like, just so you know, like this is piece 1 of a 3 or a 4 piece combo. Like just you know, we're not playing CEDH,
But
just
here's the other
communicate. But like,
thing.
I think that's perfectly fair. Like, if you are able to put together a 4 piece combo and no one stops you, you deserve the win. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yes,
Like,
100%.
so
Yeah.
the stigma against combo
And
is ridiculous.
and you know, the thing about it too is like, how much mana did you pay for those 3, 4, or 5 cards?
It might have been a lot.
To get them out there. And it's like, how many times do we talk about cards like Expropriate and we say, if you pay 10, what is it, 10 mana for Expropriate? If you pay 10 mana for a card, you should win the game. So if you pay 10 mana spread out over 4 cards, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense that you would, like, say something about a card like that, but then criticize people for comboing with 4 cards.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
it's just, it's
someone could counter one of the pieces. You might not find the pieces. your pieces could get destroyed. So I just don't understand. But to give Preston a little bit of credit, a combo I really like, and I talked about this in my latest deck tech, is the Thopter Foundry deck. So it's Thopter Foundry with Sword of the Meek, and for every 1 mana you spend, you get a Thopter. So unless you create infinite mana, it's not infinite, but it's unlimited by the amount of mana you have access to. Now, if you create infinite mana, then you create infinite Thopters. But like those kind of, I see what Preston's saying of like it's probably going to win me the game, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. Like I do understand where he's coming from.
Well, I meant like Niv Mizzet and Curiosity. Like I find that kind of stuff boring.
Yeah.
Where it's like a 2-card. If you get it, you just win right there, and if not,
Demonic
probably can't
Consultation
do
and
anything.
Thassa's Oracle, you know.
Yeah,
Zaxara and Freed from the Real.
Yeah.
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 There's a bunch of examples. I just don't like those, but the ones that are a little more interesting or a little harder to pull off, I want to try to find some more of those that I enjoy.
And then my last one I wanted to talk about is actually very similar to Jason's, which is that I really want to get back into Magic Online and just digital content in general, because I really like making those arena videos that I've made. I've made 5 maybe at this point, and a couple of them have done pretty well, like compared to some of our other content. So like there's a portion of our audience that cares to watch them. Which was my concern. My concern was like most of what we do here is commander stuff. So if I make arena videos, is anyone going to care? But a couple of those videos have done really well anyways. And I really enjoy making them. And then similarly, Magic Online, we kind of just talked about like, we talked about making a Magic Online commander series. It's kind of a bummer we haven't really done that. I don't own a PC, guys. I can't do that. I straight up, like, I think there's like Sims that you can run so that you could technically run Magic Online on a Mac, but it's kind of jank. And I'd rather just spend a couple $100 on a PC, but like I would buy a PC for the sole purpose of playing Magic Online, and that seems kind of silly. So that's my problem right now. But I want to. I love, like, Magic Online is ugly as hell, and there's a steep learning curve. But it is so awesome because it's so cheap. You can like build so many decks, try out new things, jam games whenever the hell you want. It's kind of great. I love Magic Online.
And once
so
you
I
buy a
would
card,
love
you
to.
can put it in every single deck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's
like
no
the
limit.
Yeah, like the binder system that we've talked about before, where you buy one copy of a card and like the one copy of an expensive card, you move it around from the different decks that have it. Magic Online just is that. So if you only play Commander on Magic Online, which Magic Online you can play any format, but Magic Online, if you're playing Commander, you only ever need one copy of a card. So
And I
it's
think
kind of great.
if you want to play one of those decks where it's like as many copies in the deck as you want, I think you only need 4 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's how that works. So
And you know, cards that cost a lot in real life don't cost. They cost a fraction of their like MSRP on Magic Online, which is my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
I know
There's a couple of really
that
random
shoot up-
exceptions.
Yeah, but most
Like
of them are like 12 cents.
Yeah. Like War Room, I think, is one example I know of where it's like it's a land that's like $2, but on Magic Online it kind of hasn't ever had a real printing, so it's like $8 on Magic Online or something. So there's like a bunch of like random one-off, like, whoa, what the heck? But for the most part, and they just made like a new toolkit. So like for like $40 or something, you get like 5,000 cards or something. Just like for $40, get 5,000 cards, a lot of which are Commander playable. So like that's pretty cool. So But again, I don't own a PC. I would be buying a PC for the sole purpose of us making a Magic Online series, and that's a big commitment when this channel doesn't make a lot of money. So,
See, yeah,
I mean,
and
you could
know, my dad was telling me that he really wished that they made NCAA, that college football game, for like other consoles except just the PS5. Because he's like, man, I can't justify buying a PS5 just for one game. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Also, I'm trying to find this. Okay, yeah, like you could get a Tundra. This is the only dual land that I looked up, but you can get a Tundra on an MTGO for like $1.62.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's
crazy.
because they've done like vintage remaster sets and stuff on Magic Online. So like the reserve list kind of doesn't matter on Magic Online. Yeah. So thanks for making Tundra the one you shout out. We got a new song coming out on Friday, by the way.
It was the first one that I thought of, and I was like, you know what, that'll be perfect.
Yeah. New song coming out on Friday. Just so you know, I'm in a band called Tundra. So let's wrap this up with our favorite set coming out in 2025. We have like almost the full picture of what Wizards is making this year. We have one Universes Beyond standard set that they haven't told us about. I'm sure there's supplemental stuff. We don't really know anything about Secret Layers other than the SpongeBob one coming out. But most of the main stuff we know about. So what are we most excited about? Jason, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I think that, to me, I think that this is more what set do we think is going to be our favorite? Like, what set are we the most excited for? Which one do we think that we're going to have the most fun with and enjoy the most? And for me, it's definitely going to be Spider-Man. At least I think that it's going to be. I really hope that it doesn't let me down. Spider-Man's just been my favorite superhero since I was a wee lad. I used to have a Spider-Man costume that I did not take off for a very long time. It was like Tobey Maguire was like my favorite person alive. And I just really, really think that this set is going to be a lot of fun. And I think that people are actually going to really enjoy having this. And I just hope that there's like, I don't want there to be like 10 Commander staples that come out of this set. I really don't. If you want to do reprints, kind of like they did with Fallout, where they made some reprints in Fallout art that just look cool, do that for sure. But I don't think we need any more of the One Ring. I don't think we need anything like that. But I'm excited for the set. I really think that they're going to do multiple Spider-Man cards. Like, and they would just, like, the art on them, I would imagine, would just be different iterations of Spider-Man. Or maybe they just do, like, one Spider-Man card, but they release it in multiple arts with the multiple different versions of Spider-Man or something like that.
Well, like, what they'll probably do is, like, for limited runs, like when they do reprints of comic books, they'll do, like, alternate covers. So they'll probably do something like that, where it's, like maybe there's, like, the normal, like, yeah, that looks like a Magic card, but then they'll have another one that's, like, the borderless one that looks like a comic book cover or something like that. That would be really cool.
And I know this set's not going to be a typical, Magic IP set, and it's a Universes Beyond thing, and I know that people are kind of getting tired of Universes Beyond, but like, I loved The Lord of the Rings, and so when that set came out, I was really, really hyped for it, and I love Spider-Man, so. And honestly, even though Fallout wasn't something that I played a ton of, I do love Bethesda and I love the games that they make. So I was excited for that set. And when that set came out, I had a really, really good time with that set. Like I said in the last video, that was my favorite set of 2024. I opened the most packs of that set. I played the most cards from that set probably. And I just had a lot of fun with that. And I think that that's going to carry over into this Spider-Man set when it comes out.
Are you excited for Spider-Man, Preston?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my set of the year, but I do like Spider-Man. I like Marvel stuff, so hopefully that does well. And if they're going to do some more Marvel, that'd be cool. I'm hoping for a Hulk at some point. That's what I'm wanting.
They've talked about they are for sure going to do multiple Marvel sets. So the gracious take is that, like Jason said, like we don't want more One Rings and stuff. The new structure is that everything is going through standard now. So everything theoretically has to be of standard power level. So yeah, you'll probably get a bunch of stuff that like is not good in 60 card, but it's good in Commander. So like maybe stuff like the One Ring might still happen, but I think it's a lot less likely. And part of the reason that the One Ring was so bad is because you could loop it in Modern, right? And so that was a awkward situation where it's good in 60 card and it's good in Commander. I think if it has to go through standard legality, that's a lot less likely to happen. But then the cynical take is like, well, they might just power creep standard. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
Here's my thing about the One Ring though. That's just like the One Ring is not something that you can like tone down the power of because of like the lore that surrounds that actual thing
card.
in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. It has to be not only a strong card, it has to be the most powerful card in the whole set. Like, it has to be. If you are trying to do like a true Lord of the Rings set, the strongest card in that whole set is the One Ring, and there can't be any dispute about it.
Maybe Sauron, because he has a One Ring,
but he's not power. He has no power without the One Ring, really.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. But Preston, what about you? What is the set you're most excited for in 2025?
So I could have put really any of the in-universe ones, but I ended up going with Tarkir just because it's been a while since I've built like a new big dumb creature deck. So hopefully they'll have a cool dragon or two that excites me and makes me want to build around them. That's what I'm kind of hoping
for. Hopefully, they're definitely going to have some big, cool dragons.
I'm just hoping they're ones that interest me in some way.
Oh my god!
I guess
can you imagine that the Dragon Storm is just like some mass extinction event that killed all the dragons? So we actually go to Tarkir and there's no dragons.
Or what if it's like a rift that opens up, and just dragons just start flying through and.
Well, that was already the lore of Tarkir. That's where the dragons came from, was dragon storms.
But I'm saying, like, what if that's what it is? Like, what if that's what this is supposed to...
Preston over here being a nerd, actually knowing the lore and stuff. What a
I don't even know it that much. I happen to know that one thing.
I'm with Preston in the sense that I really could have picked any of the in-universe stuff. Spider-Man, I'm cautiously optimistic about. Final Fantasy, also cautiously optimistic about. So it's not that I'm not excited about them. I'm just like, there might be problems that come along with them because it's Universes Beyond. Like, if it's standard legal, what does that mean for the story of Magic? I'm just confused, guys. But all of the main sets, the three that we're getting, I'm really excited about. All of them. Edge of Eternities is like a space opera. Star Wars is my... Dude. Star Wars is my jam, okay? I freaking love Star Wars. But
hey, comment below the name of that ship that he just put up there, and where like its first appearance in film.
Oh yeah,
live long and prosper, guys.
Wait, no. And then
excuse me, I'm gonna go murder Preston.
And then I liked Preston's reasoning for Tarkir. Like, I talked about a couple episodes ago where we ranked my commander decks. That I really like my Miram deck just because I really like dragons, but I feel like Miram is too strong. Going to Tarkir basically guarantees the idea that we're going to get at least a couple new dragon commanders, or at least cool new dragons, if not new dragon-specific commanders, though I think we will get that. And that excites me. Like, I am not touching my Miram deck again until after Tarkir comes out. Because I want to have a dragon deck. I feel like it's my obligation to have a big stompy dragon deck because this is a fantasy card game. But Miram is too strong, and Tarkir's
the
probably going to get us some
5-color ones are
cool
kind of boring.
Yeah, the 5-color ones, I'm just like, they're just not my thing. I used to have Ur Dragon. It just wasn't my thing. It's fine. I know Jason really likes the Ur Dragon.
You take that back. Ur Dragon is Lord. All hail Ur Dragon.
And also I just
do you think we get a new Nicol Bolas?
Ooh, we could. I mean, Mark Rosewater shared a thing on his blog recently saying that we should be concerned about what's happening with Nicol Bolas right now. So he is coming back at some
When's
point.
the last time that we got like a new Nicol Bolas? Was it the Dragon God from
it would have been the War of the Spark one.
So it would have been Nicol Bolas Dragon God from War of the Spark?
I think so. I think that would have been the most recent one.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, It's been a while.
Also, I just like 3-color sets. So Tarkir was famously a 3-color set, so I'm sure we'll get more of that with the what are they called? Clans? They're not called clans. What are they called? I don't know.
They were
What
called
is
the
what
clans of
called?
Tarkir
Oh,
when
they
they were
were.
like human led,
Yeah,
or well, sentient creature led. But
and that's where we get like Abzan, Sultai. That's where we get those names.
Yeah,
yeah,
they come
because
from those dragons.
originally it was them and the dragons were all dead. Then Sarkhan did a genocide and brought all the dragons back and killed everyone.
What a
So
guy.
I forgot what the dragon like
Sarkon,
were
you
called.
time traveling devil, you.
But in that same vein, is my favorite set for the year is Ether Drift. I'm kind it's kind of tied with the other in-universe ones, but similarly to where I said like Tarkir is making me hold off on figuring out what to do with my dragon deck. Ether Drift is doing that with my vehicles deck and my energy deck. Actually, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get energy stuff in Ether Drift. Standard's gonna get crazy, man. And then I'm also we're for sure gonna get vehicle stuff. And I love vehicles and I love energy. And at first, I was really excited with how my energy deck and my vehicle decks turned out. But as I've played them a couple more times, I'm like, there's something missing. There's like little synergy pieces missing, or like glue that should be holding this deck together better. It's a little jank, and I'm just kind of hoping that Ether Drift fixes one or both of those decks. Either gives me a cool new vehicle commander, because we have vehicle commanders, but like they're not really what I want to do. And then we have
Like Shorkai is the best one for sure.
yeah, but Shorkai is kind of busted because what you end up doing is you're not really playing Shorkai because it's a vehicle. You're playing Shorkai because it's a really good value engine. And that, like, I used to have a Shorkai deck, and everyone made me take it apart. And energy kind of hasn't ever really gotten a good commander. I know we have had a few energy precons, but like I have a 5-color one because they keep forgetting that green actually has some really cool energy stuff, and they didn't make green precons with energy. I think this year they are. I think they will with this new set. But yeah, Ether Drift. I think it'll get me some new cool cards for a couple of my decks that I really like, that I wish I could put a little bit more love and attention into.
You got to build a vehicles deck with cards from Ether Drift, but they all have to be Japanese versions of those cards.
So no one knows what's going on?
No, so you can call the deck Tokyo Drift.
I'm not doing that. There's so many words on Magic
is not
cards now,
worth it.
Jason. Yeah, I won't know what's going on.
It's so worth it. It'd be so worth it.
I have all English cards in my vehicle deck right now. I couldn't tell you what half the cards do. Just because there's so many words on cards nowadays.
So then why know what any of them do?
Yeah, okay. I mean, that really is what Commander is nowadays. Like, cards are so wordy and there's so much going on at all times that, like, I'll just be like, someone will say
What's
they're
that
doing
do?
something. I'll just be like,
Okay.
I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
That's like, people like to think that, the most used phrase at a Magic table is in response. But no, it's definitely, what's that card do?
Yeah.
It's the most used phrase in any Magic game. It's like, what's that card do?
All right. As we're bringing this episode to a close, I wanted to ask you guys: do you have anything else channel specific that you're excited about or hope we get to do at some point here in 2025?
Just excited for more of the gameplay.
We
I
actually
can't wait
have
to hit 1 gajillion subscribers.
1 gajillion. Wow. Take that, Mr. Beast.
Preston, making up numbers.
We actually have, I think, 3 episodes that we have filmed that have not come out. And then we have, I think, 1 episode that we're for sure doing in the near future, which will be fun. We get to bring Denzel in, he'll be new
That's
to
my brother-in-law.
Yeah, that'll be his first appearance on the channel. So we definitely got some cool gameplay stuff coming and some other cool stuff. What about you, President? Anything specific you're excited about?
No, I just hope the channel keeps growing. People keep interacting. It's always fun to talk with people in the comments or on Discord. So I really hope the community keeps growing and just keep having a fun time.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I would say that I just hope that other things about the channel continue to do well. Like, I know the gameplay on average is like our best performing stuff, but it's so much work. So like if people enjoy like the short form stuff that I'm working on that I've done a little bit before, I'm hoping to do a little bit more of. If people keep really liking the podcast, you know, these things that just don't take as long to do, it's going to help us, you know, connect with you guys more, as well as keep making cool content for you guys without also dying over. Thinking back, guys, I do not know how I did a new episode of Upkeep every other week for like 2 years straight. I don't know how I did that. So maybe I just didn't sleep. I guess it was before I had kids. But
True.
yeah, I'm excited. I think we got a lot of cool ideas on the table for gameplay and non-gameplay. So yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna bring us to the end of the first Geek and Speak podcast of 2025. We got a lot of really cool things lined up, but we are always open to suggestions. So if you have any specific topics that you would like to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments down below. And tune in next week for another episode. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And like I said, we have over 300 videos. Go check those out. It helps the algorithm, as well as gives you more entertainment. So we will see you guys later. Much love. Bye.